Smackdown review. It's a Smackdown review. Getting ready for a Smackdown review.
Smackdown is Raw killing Smackdown.
Smackdown is Raw killing Smackdown live. I am Luke Owen. This is Chopper Pete Quinnell. Chopper, what's your new intro?
I don't want to do it.
You got to do it now.
Okay.
I'll set you up.
My name is Dr. Pete Quinnell, and I'm here to perform a chopperation on this week's SmackDown Live.
Thank you very much. If you're a Podswafter, that will make so much more sense. Welcome to the post-SmackDown edition of WrestleRamble. Slightly different setup today. And it's going to be a bit like that all week because we are business this week. So it's me and Pete today with housemate Simon monitoring your super chats. And tomorrow it will be housemate Simon and Laurie with Randy doing the NXT review because Pete and I are not here. And then Pete and I will be doing the weekend ramble because of technical difficulties, meaning that we've actually got to record it today. So we're going to be recording the weekend ramble today, once we've actually finished recording this.
And none of those technical difficulties are my fault.
But anyway, so we're going to dive into our main topic for SmackDown Live. Make sure you get your super chats in to housemate Simon, and of course, press the thumbs up, leave comments, this, that, and the other. So SmackDown. This is my first episode of SmackDown in 2 weeks, and when I left, I had said to Ollie that I would like to essentially formally apologise to some members of the SWAF Nation because I said in a video we did a couple of months ago, I think even late last year, that could WWE end the brand split? And I said, yeah, of course they could. Their roster is so deep. They could easily cancel the brand split and everything would be fine. And a lot of people said no. Because once they end the brand split, SmackDown just goes back to being the Raw show again. And it just becomes a forgotten about thing. Raw becomes the A show, SmackDown becomes the B show. And I said, guys, that is impossible. With this talent roster, it would actually be difficult for WWE to make SmackDown the Raw show. It would actually be almost impossible. But congratulations, WWE, you have managed to do it. And this episode really rammed it home for me. In 3 key areas, really. The big story on SmackDown at the moment, is Shane versus Roman. That's their top story at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. That's their big main event feud. Yeah. That is a Raw storyline.
Correct.
That is, Shane's a Raw guy, I think.
Shane's a nothing. Shane's the
Omni-Shane.
floater.
He's the Omni-Shane.
Yeah.
But Roman is a SmackDown guy, but never appears on the show. He's only ever on Raw.
I forgot he was a SmackDown guy.
Case in point.
Oh my God, right?
Drew's a Raw guy, and The Undertaker will likely just be appearing on Raw rather than appearing a lot on SmackDown.
Makes sense.
So that is a Raw storyline that is just bleeding over into SmackDown. Okay. So you're like, all right, well, what about your top titles? Well, your WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston, is going up against Raw's Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. So that means all of these SmackDown guys that could be going for the belt are not, because a Raw guy is going for it instead. Okay, well, that's fine. That's another one. What about your women's division? Well, Bayley is defending her Raw Women's Championship again against Raw's Alexa Bliss, which means all these SmackDown women are not getting a shot at the belt they are a part of the brand they're a part of. Mm-hmm. And it just kept hammering home to me today. I'm like, they don't care about this show at all. This was a nothing show.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Like you said, when they have so much talent across their entirety of their roster, not just main roster, but you look at NXT and NXT UK and 205 Live and everything that they've got. They have so much, an ungodly amount of talent under WWE's employ. Well, not actual employment, but that's a story for another day. Mm-hmm. But not focusing on even a small percentage of that for most of your shows is terrible, because you've just decided to focus on this little 1% that's Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns and Alexa Bliss. It's just the same people all the time.
The Bayley one for me is so infuriating because really that storyline's not about the belt.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
It's so annoying.
Bayley in this scenario she's the third wheel.
Yeah.
And the title is the fourth wheel on this pointless motorcycle. Because really, it's all about Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, which again is a Raw storyline because they're Raw stars. Bailey is unimportant. The title is unimportant. That storyline is the most important thing there. And this episode. At the end of the episode, I wrote down at the end of my notes, low smack bang in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was only until I was actually recapping my notes and I was writing up my review that I was like, no, this is a bad show.
Yeah.
This is a really bad, boring show. There was a line towards the start of this show where they cut to Todd Phillips. Mm-hmm. And Todd Phillips is addressing the audience. And he essentially says, Raw at the moment is over in Japan. So don't expect to see a lot of Raw stars on tonight's show. I'm like, well, why would I anyway? It's Kid SmackDown. But B, it just furthers this idea that SmackDown is a show for losers and jabronis, but Raw is a show full of stars and actual heroes that you really want to see.
Mm-hmm. And all the stars and heroes have gone on a special trip to Japan. So we've got the runts of the group left on SmackDown.
So sorry.
These blue brand idiots, I guess they'll do.
And then you're looking at you guys like Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy and this whole litany, Rusev, and this whole litany of SmackDown guys that just aren't being featured on the show whatsoever. Buddy Murphy, it's been how long since the Superstar Shakeup now? When was WrestleMania? April?
It was the beginning of April, so over 2 months.
Beginning of April, we're now basically in July.
Yeah.
And we've still not seen hide or hair of Buddy Murphy. He had a couple of weeks worth of promo videos. He showed up once on the YouTube channel. That doesn't count.
Yep.
And that's it. I think he was in the Super Showdown Battle Royal.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was. And then you got Aleister Black since the Superstar Shakeup. He was on Raw, then he was moved to SmackDown. Has been stuck in the Phantom Zone ever since.
Yeah.
And only today did he manage to get a knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
So seems to be this massive list of people. Finn Balor.
Yeah, I was about to say Finn Balor. This is the first time we've seen him since Super Showdown, I think, right?
Yeah.
He's not been featured. He's the Intercontinental Champion. You can't just not feature a champion.
Although me and Ollie did joke yesterday because the last thing I saw was Super Showdown.
Yeah.
So like when The Undertaker came back, I was like, it's not really a surprise though, was it? It's like, he was also on that last show I saw. And on Finn Balor, I was like, yeah, I mean, I just saw him on Super Showdown. But then you look back and you're like, oh yeah, no, but he hasn't been seen for the last 2 weeks. I figured that Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman have just been feuding since Super Showdown, but apparently not. Apparently they had a 2-week layover.
Oh, God, it's so frustrating. And like we saw, Shinsuke Nakamura was on this show. Where's he been?
Well, yeah. So the report is that Rusev is going to be leaving soon. I mean, you did this in your news. So you actually know more about this than I do.
Yeah, so seemingly it's being reported that Rusev's contract is due to expire in the near future. There's no concrete date given yet, but in the near future it's expected to expire, and he's expected to not re-sign with the company because he has very public frustration with WWE and on Twitter and in interviews and things like that. So he's probably going to be gone, and he also requested some time off, which is why he's not been on TV. Which you wouldn't think at first because chances are he wouldn't have been on TV anyway. But he requested time off and has gone away. So now I guess they're not a tag team anymore, which is why Nakamura is now back on the show. But why weren't they on the show anyway?
Well, yeah, and that's the key. When there was the SmackDown tag division was sort of revealed after the Superstar Shakeup, I was like, good Lord, that is an embarrassing tag team division because it was really bad. And I thought the only tag team you can give it to is Rusev and Nakamura. They're the only viable tag team you can give it to that isn't the New Day, because they kind of like, that's sort of tied up in their own stuff with Kofi Kingston, although now they are back in the tag title picture, which is so much better.
Yep.
But at the same time, like I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. But they haven't been seen on TV at all. And yeah, now it looks like that team, the foreign heels, is now over. And Shinsuke Nakamura is going on a singles run against Finn Balor. And do you know what? Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. All for that. That's great. That is 2 SmackDown guys going for a SmackDown belt. Thumbs up to that one, mate. It's also 2 people that should be getting better pushes than they have had. So, again, big thumbs up to that. Very much on board with this. And then you hear the other side of the story. So the other bit of this is that Aleister Black got knocked on the door, got a little rat-a-tat-tat on the door. He's been asking people for, 10 years to knock on the door and ask him to come in. And so finally got a knock on the door. And according to WrestleVote, it's going to be Cesaro. Now, at first, I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Aleister Black versus Cesaro.
Can't wait for that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
until you then think, it's a Raw guy.
Yeah.
So it's once again, a Raw guy is facing off against the SmackDown guy. So the SmackDown guy is not getting involved in the SmackDown guys. So at this point, what is your point of the brand split?
There isn't one.
You may as well just do away with it now.
Yeah. And I mean, on this show, they had Nikki Cross, who's a Raw star, against the SmackDown Women's Champion. Didn't mention the wild card at all, at any point.
Yeah, I'm guessing that has just been dropped, right?
It's the first I've heard of it.
Because they didn't mention it on Raw either.
Yeah, I mean, I think they mentioned it last week.
Okay, so this might be the first week then where they just haven't said it at all.
Yeah, the first week where they've just not mentioned it.
Done away with it.
And then they had...
Got those 2 out of 3 Falls matches to get in.
Miz had a match. He's a Raw guy.
Yeah.
No mention of the wild card again. So it's just...
Yeah, so...
It's so frustrating.
Sami Zayn's a Raw guy as well.
Oh, God.
But he's in a tag team with the SmackDown guy. It's very fun.
Yeah, okay.
So... For me, this is the highlight of this.
Yeah.
So for podcast listeners, I'm pointing to the thumbnail, which is this storyline that Nikki Cross is trying to trying to get on Alexa Bliss's side once again because, I mean, you might have to fill me in on this. She messed up at Stomping Grounds? What did she do at Stomping Grounds?
She didn't really.
What did she do, Pete?
So, Bayley went for a dive. Alexa Bliss dodged out the way. She hit Nikki Cross instead.
Okay.
Nikki got all Bayley got me, and went into the ring in an attempt to attack Bayley. She didn't then attack Bayley. The referee managed to get her out. Bayley then recovered because Alexa Bliss was about to go for Twisted Bliss. She went up and punched Bliss, but then Bliss punched Bayley back, so Bayley fell down again. Then she went for Twisted Bliss, and then Bayley got her knees up and hit a Bayley to belly and won.
Oh, so Nikki Cross really didn't cost her the title.
So she didn't really cost her anything at all.
No.
No, it was just Bayley getting her knees up because they had the reset when Bliss punched her off the turnbuckle. So,
I mean, you know what? New Day lost to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, yet somehow they're the number 1 contenders to the SmackDown tag titles. Really, what does it matter? But anyway, so the storyline they're now telling is that Nikki Cross cost Alexa Bliss the title. So she's been trying as best she can to get her a shot again. So that carried over. Ollie, yesterday, bless his cotton socks, thought, that's it, it's over. Because on Raw, they didn't mention Bayley or the SmackDown title. So they were like, that's all done now. That storyline's moved on. And I said, wait till SmackDown, my friend. Well, I'm sure we'll see it continued again. And sure as hell, we did. It was Nikki Cross telling Alexa Bliss, I'm going to have a match with Bayley. And if I win that match, you'll get a shot at Extreme Rules. And Nikki then won that match. So now we've got Alexa Bliss again going for the SmackDown Women's title. And I wrote down in my notes, you've got a perfectly good Ember Moon and Sonya Deville who were sitting around doing sweet FA. Let's use them. Let's try someone different for a change. Let's put some different faces onto this. Let's have Bayley have a really good championship run against a friendly rivalry against Ember Moon would be really nice.
That'd be fun.
Sonya Deville, let's actually give her a shot rather than just sort of like, I don't know, doing whatever it is they're doing with her and Mandy Rose.
Someone with donuts.
And yeah, so I wrote that in my notes, not knowing that they are currently in a feud, I guess. Last I saw, they were feuding with Carmella over Money in the Bank.
Oh, God.
But no, apparently, they're feuding with Ember Moon.
Yeah.
Because they showed this backstage segment where Ember Moon's annoyed at them over donuts, and then they had a crap match that went 90 seconds that Sonya won. I'm like, so we can't put them in the title picture, but we can do this with them, can't we? And again, that's Ember Moon just playing the third wheel to this possibly lesbian storyline. At least that seems the direction they're going with on this one. But we'll get onto that in a bit, I guess. But yeah, so let's round this all up because I feel like we're getting a bit hot at the moment.
We are a little bit.
It's a bit hot in this room as well because I don't want to hate this show and I don't like being negative.
No.
I went away for 2 weeks to kind of escape wrestling for a bit, and I came back and actually Raw. I thought, it's fine. Like it's absolutely fine. SmackDown's really annoyed me.
Yeah.
Really upset me.
I think it's probably because SmackDown for a long time was the better show.
So much better.
Than Raw. And it was always like, Raw's been really disappointing this week. But it's okay because we've got SmackDown. SmackDown will make me happy again.
Yeah.
But now it's the Raw replay show. So if Raw's disappointing, SmackDown's even worse.
Yeah, you sort of find, like, it used to be that you would find yourself very down in the dumps on Tuesday, then brought back up on the Wednesday from SmackDown, and then you're riding a high from NXT. And then you're like, well, hey, I'm back. And then the rest of the week is fine. Your weekend's lovely. Back to Tuesday. Oh, Raw. Oh, no. And then you're back to Wednesday. It's like, it's okay, it's SmackDown. Then you're back and you just ride that wave. And it's very lovely. But now which is sort of like we're in this big level of mediocrity, and SmackDown's just bringing me down because it is just being Raw replay. So the question, is Raw killing SmackDown?
Yes.
Short answer, yes, it is at the moment. These poor SmackDown stars. But we're going to go over to housemate Simon, who has got the super chats. Simon, what are the people saying?
Lots of just dispirited reviews of SmackDown.
That is good to hear, because I was worried that I was being a bit down on it.
No, I think everyone's quite rightly kind of pointing out what you did, which is that there is just a lot of confusion as to why there's lots of stuff happening on screen, then the stuff that's happening in dark matches that could be happening in the main event, and why is this person over here? It's just everyone's unsure as to what the reason is behind anything. So I think everyone's just kind of going, what the hell are we actually watching here?
That's the other side of it as well, actually, thinking about it. If I remember correctly as well, before I left, it was revealed that Dolph is still a Raw star.
Yeah.
So actually,
he
Dolph was going to, in his match later on in this show, to get into the triple threat, which means Kofi would have been defending against 2 Raw stars, as opposed to just the one of them.
So ridiculous.
Dolph also thinks he's a comedian. There's loads of super chats.
Good.
So
good. We'll do. I believe this
do
will
5 minutes.
For 5 minutes.
5 minutes for now,
Okay,
and then we'll do all the rest later.
Okay, let's rifle through the top ones then. We've got a big $100 from Randy. That's #1 fan. Thank you very much.
Oh, Tomo.
He says, "Hello, gentlemen. What do you think needs to drastically change for WWE to consistently keep their audience? Love you guys. Love the Swaff Nation. Lots and lots as well."
Oh, good question. To be honest, what they need is, I was about to say a star that catches fire, but they had that with Becky Lynch.
Yeah, they had it.
So I think what they are in need of is a star that can catch fire. When you look back to that sort of 95, 96 period where like their business was in the toilet, all of a sudden they found Austin and he catapulted them back up. And obviously Austin caught fire, the feud with McMahon caught fire, and from that, everyone else gained popularity from that, because then you got the rise of Triple H, you got the rise of The Rock. Then The Rock caught fire as well, and all of a sudden you had 2 top guys. Not actually, funny enough, it was never really at the same time. I think a lot of people always kind of forget that, is that when The Rock was at his peak, Austin wasn't there. Austin was out injured. So, and then you had Austin come back, and all of a sudden you had, well, now we can pit The Rock, our 2 big guys, Rock versus Austin together at WrestleMania X7. Boom, you got an absolutely massive WrestleMania. And then the wheels fell off because both of them left.
Yeah.
But I'd say that you do need a star that can catch fire, but then also a storyline that those fans that are really behind them can sink their teeth into. I think them killing off Becky Lynch and just removing all of her heat certainly has done them no favours.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you saying they need a star that can catch fire, but I think more than that, they need to be able to treat them right when they have them. They need their storylines to make sense, because you have, like I said before, an ungodly amount of talent in WWE. There are so many people that could catch fire if given the chance. Kofi Kingston has been in the company for like 11 years, and only now is he getting a main event push, because out of one match, he did a really good job, and fans are like, you know what? We really like Kofi Kingston. So now they've got a main event star on their hands by giving him a chance. Do that with other people, and you might find someone that transcends the wrestling business, and now you've got another hot star that can give you that mainstream exposure that you're always after.
Absolutely.
Give other people a chance.
Remember, so you need to do the super chats in order, Simon.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd throw that one in there.
Nice. Very nice,
so we had someone who said, Tim Arendt has said...
Tim Arndt.
When Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad, this is not what he meant.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I like it.
Yeah, so there were 2 out of 3 falls matches on this show, both of which had the same stipulation, where the winner gets another match.
It is absurd.
Which then you couple that with Nikki versus Bayley, where the winner of that got another match.
Yeah.
It was 3 matches. Half of SmackDown's matches had the same stipulation, and a third of them were 2 out of 3 falls matches.
That is, it's just ridiculous. Like,
what we need is an authority figure to come in and really sort this out.
But we do, because Dolph at the start of the show said that WWE management booked his match against Kofi for the main event. So there is an authority figure. We just don't know who that authority figure is these days.
And also, Shane in his promo said that he runs the show. He's got responsibilities. So he's an authority figure, but he's not an authority figure because they don't exist.
No, guys, we're the authority figure.
Of course, yeah.
We're the
It's always
authority
the
now.
fans. Yeah.
Flame Inc. has said that we need a superstar shake-up on WrestleTalk.
Oh, okay.
There is 5 of you and 5 shows. Mix up the shows up where Ollie and Luke for Raw, Ollie and Laurie for SmackDown, etc. Wow.
Hey, man.
You're watching it.
I was going to say,
Oh, yeah.
this business week that we're currently having is actually kind of giving you this bit of a
Little bit,
superstar shake-up of shows. Because tomorrow, you're getting Laurie and Simon doing the NXT Ramble.
Wild card.
Very much a wild
Wild card, yeah.
Which I'm very much looking forward to listening back to.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you very much. It's not... It's nice to get complimented on something you haven't done yet.
Yeah. Great job, Simon.
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
I mean, I'm also looking forward to Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm going to go see that on Tuesday. Somebody, Jobber JJ496, said, sad prediction, Shane is pinning Taker at Extreme Rules.
Revenge for WrestleMania. He's got to get his win back.
Oh my God, he totally is.
He's got to get his win back, brother.
Because it's going to be Shane versus Roman at SummerSlam. So the only way to do that is to give Shane another win here. No, it's not. Roman could pin Drew also.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's either Roman pins Drew or Shane pins Taker. And I don't like either of them.
It's not going to be good.
No.
What's the next one? He also added that he wants Drake to win the 24/7 belt because he's worth it.
Well, I mean, I just feel
He is
sorry
worth
for
it.
Drake at the moment.
I know, me too.
How is he not the face in this?
I don't know.
We were saying this on yesterday's show. His marriage is ruined.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because funny always gets over. How can you dislike someone who's genuinely funny? Which is what truth is. Therefore, he will continue to be the face until he stops being funny.
I'd counter argue that, just being like, Maverick's very funny. So I think he's also now getting over with everyone because everyone sees that he's actually hilarious. So I think now they're going to have a Drake Maverick face turn in the 24/7 championship picture, and he'll win it. Maybe not off truth. There might be like an intermediary champion, but Maverick will get it, and he'll hold on to it for a little bit.
I think we're putting far too much thought into this
prediction.
crap belt. But...
Hey, it's fun.
I think his wife should win it before him.
That's great!
And he pins her to win it.
Yes!
Yes.
When they're consummating the marriage. She's like, we can finally get her to consummate the marriage. She's like, oh yeah, no, that's really what I want to do. But actually, really, in his one, he's like, there's a referee. He's like,
The vicar should have just torn off. Yeah. Do you know one thing I did find weird was when Carmella was looking for truth, she opened that box thing and was going, what are you doing in there? You've been hiding for months. What do you mean, what are you doing in there? You know exactly why he's in there.
this happens every single Tuesday. Come on, Carmella.
Really strange. Next one. Someone, this is Danny, your boy DeVito. Someone finally answered Black. He has to let them in.
Yes, he does.
They did, yes.
He has to let them in.
He has to let them in.
Well,
I mean, that's a vampire, then don't invite them in.
I think that's a play on Bray Wyatt's catchphrase. Has to let them in.
Oh, right.
Because it's Bray Wyatt. It's let me in. It's gonna be. They're thinking it's gonna be Bray. I hope it's not Bray Wyatt. Please don't be Bray Wyatt.
Someone on Twitter said it was just Goldberg psyching himself up for a promo.
I think I'm saying that it's probably just gonna be a pizza guy. It's gonna be a big misunderstanding next week. But sorry, came to the wrong room.
Or someone says like, I need to leave a package with next door. Can I leave it with you and they'll come pick it up later?
Do you think somebody has pitched / this will definitely happen that the door will open? It'll just be all the jobbers coming through fighting over the 24/7.
Have you seen our truth?
Yeah.
Do you want one more?
Yeah, we'll have one more and then we'll crack on.
We'll do the rest later.
Michael Dominguez has said, I'm more interested in mid-card feuds than Kofi.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I'd say that's probably because Kofi feels so mid-card at the moment because all he's been doing is feuding with mid-card since he won the belt. He hasn't had like a real challenger that's been pushed as a big star.
No, exactly.
Since he won the belt.
No, and that trend is continuing for as much as I love Samoa Joe. He literally just lost the US title, which he then won. He won by proxy previously because Rey Mysterio got injured. So he still doesn't have a challenger who's being treated like a main event star. I think Ollie's right, and he needs to have a feud with Randy Orton. Because even though it's Randy Orton and he hasn't been a main event guy for ages, he's still Randy Orton.
He's treated like a main event guy.
He's still treated like a main event guy. So I think that will make it feel like a true challenge for Kofi. That's what he really needs out of this.
I just want to give a shout out to GH7 because they were the one who said it was Goldberg psyching himself
nice.
up for a promo.
Well, thank you very much, GX7.
Thank you very much. But yeah, we'll get back into the rest of your super chats later on in the show once we've gone through SmackDown, which we're going to get into now. Did you see the pictures of the attendance?
No, I did not.
I'll put these up for you now. So these are actually going to be in our SmackDown review, but you can see the amount of area that was taped off. In fact, pretty much the entire hard cam side is empty, with everyone has just been pushed to the side and, or actually onto the hard cam side. So the side where the hard camera is absolutely empty. And it's not a good picture, not a very pretty picture at all.
It looks shockingly similar to Stomping Grounds and how not very well attended that was as well.
Yes.
So
I also want to give it a shout out to Emma Rowbottom, who got in touch with me. They said, does this mean that when Kofi Kingston was cutting his promo to the hard camera, he was just essentially looking out to empty seat and had his back to the crowd that was actually there?
yeah.
Must make for great viewing.
Yeah, that's generally what happens. Every time you see someone win a match and then they celebrate to the hard cam, they're celebrating to no one.
Celebrating to absolutely no one.
That's just how it is.
The show opened with the Omni Shane cutting a promo on Roman and The Undertaker, saying that he's going to win at Extreme Rules. But then New Day opened the show proper, and they announced it's going to be Samoa Joe versus Kofi for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules.
Which, as much as Samoa Joe hasn't been treated like a main event star, still very much looking forward to that match.
Love Joe.
Yeah, love Joe so
love
much.
Joe.
And I think that could be a very, very, very good match.
Yeah.
So, excited for it.
Kofi said that he's had some struggles since winning the title, including facing a grueling challenger in Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, get out, mate. Get out.
It was a really boring match as well with Stomping Grounds.
Was it really?
Yeah,
I haven't watched
really
it.
quite boring.
Get in the seat, Dolph.
Yeah.
And he throws to the video screen of Joe attacking him on Raw, and he says that Joe is like a shark with prey, but he won't be eaten alive. And then Dolph Ziggler's music hit, and I was like, oh, come on. Rolled my eyes. But this is the end of it now. Dolph has to be going back to his comedy.
You hope.
Well, my theory is that this was done because everyone had gone off to Japan. So
Yeah.
it's almost like a skeleton crew. We've only got a handful of people we're actually going to use on this show. It's a filler show. It's probably in Japan. It's a filler show. So we'll keep Dolph around for another thing. They can have a very quick, a main event 2 out of 3 falls match, because of course it will be.
2 out of 3
And we'll just work with the small number of people we have. Once this show finishes, they can also then fly over to Japan. Which is why this show felt very throwaway. Because I don't think many people were there.
No, exactly.
But yeah, so Dolph Ziggler was around, and he said that WWE management, whoever they may be, have said that they are going to put him. There's a main event tonight. It's Dolph versus Kofi. 2 out of 3 falls. And if Dolph wins, he'll be inserted into the Joe Kofi match at Extreme Rules. Adds a little bit of stake to the match. Not a problem with that.
Yep.
It then becomes a problem when you announce another 2 out of 3 falls match 2 seconds later with a stipulation that's very similar, and then you have the Nikki Cross and Bayley thing later. Yeah,
I mean, I'll give Dolph a little bit of props for this promo, or whoever scripted the promo or whatever, because it wasn't very... It was partially the WWE formula for the promo, but it was... Kofi started talking and said, "Oh, how many times do I have to beat you, Dolph?" And then Dolph just cuts him off and just shouts at him and goes, "This isn't a game. This is my livelihood. This is my life." And I was like, "Oh, that's actually like slightly different to them just being like, here's my line, here's my line, here's my line. Let's make a match."
Yeah.
So it felt a little bit different, which was nice, but it still wasn't enough to make me interested, unfortunately. But
no, and Dolph is very much past his sell by then.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately. This is then we got Todd Phillips announcing that the Raw stars in Japan, you're going to have to make do with these SmackDown dorks, I guess.
Bunch of idiots, am I right?
Bunch blue losers, what they are, bluesers. We then cut to backstage and we see that Miz is trying to get into Shane McMahon's office, but Elias is blocking the door. He stops Elias playing his guitar. And he says that he wants another match with Shane. All of a sudden, Miz is interested in his feud with Shane again, I guess. But again, a one-show story thing.
Yeah, I mean, this came up. I can't remember whether it was last week or the week before on SmackDown. Suddenly they were still feuding. And Miz was like,
are they still feuding?
That's what I said at the time.
I figured this was because it was a skeletal crew.
Yeah, I mean, they bring up this supposed feud between Miz and Shane when they feel like it, and then never bring it up on weeks when it doesn't matter. So because they needed someone to face off against Shane or Elias or whoever, there's like, Miz? Miz will do. Oh, we can just bring up that other feud that's already finished. We'll just bring that up again. This happened about 2 weeks ago when Miz was just like, oh, I'm sick of Shane doing this, that, and the other. It's like, where's this come from? You're not feuding.
I was going to say, when he beat you at Money in the Bank by being sweaty, by being sweatier than you are, the feud's almost like stopped. Like Miz didn't seem to care. He moved on to other things.
That's what I mean. If Miz had carried on and just been like, oh man, Shane got another lucky win, I can't wait to get my revenge kind of thing, and they'd kept that plate spinning while also building the feud with Roman, I'm okay with it.
Fine.
It's probably stupid and convoluted and more Shane time, which I would hate, but at least it would make some sort of sense. But now they just never reference it, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Miz is still angry. He still hates Shane, by the way.
I like Shane time. Oh, Simon, you said that Dolph's not a comedian. I do think that Kofi might be a comedian, because he did say in an interview recently that he was comparing his feud with Dolph Ziggler to Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Oh, which is
they are just one and the same.
Ziggler's boots are quite similar.
Yeah, I suppose.
To Shawn's back in the day.
Maybe that's what he was saying.
I mean, that's
the boots are the
unless
same.
that was specifically what he was referring to. That's an egregious statement.
It is a little bit, yeah.
We then saw Daniel Bryan walking backstage, where we got a cameo from Husky the Pig Boy. Huskus the Pig Boy, thank you.
The Pig, yeah.
Which is, again, more of this Bray Wyatt. I called it bleeding into our reality. Ollie wasn't keen on this yesterday. He really didn't like it. He felt that it should have gone sort of the other way round. He felt that you should have had the promos that you had at the start, where it was just, like the doll and the bird raptor in the box. And then you move into this, where the puppets are sort of behind people, and then you do Firefly Funhouse. My argument was that actually this is the perfect way to do it, because now it feels like it's been sort of its own little separate entity, but now we're seeing it with other wrestlers, and it's like, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, this new Bray Wyatt, what would that mean? It's Bray Wyatt and this new Bray Wyatt and Kofi Kingston, what would that mean? And I think that's way more interesting. But where do you sit?
I can see both sides of that, and I can see why Ollie would say that, because I think having the culmination of the final Firefly Funhouse segment and then Bray debuts, that's an awesome way to end it. Just be like, oh yeah, he's about to F some S up. He's coming now, like next week. We're like, oh god. But now here, I think you also keep that bit of curiosity and just be like, so when is he coming? Who's he going to fight? That's still kind of up in the air. And I think if you'd have done it the other way around, where you'd seen some puppets, people probably might not have even spotted them, because they wouldn't have been characters that you knew from Firefly Funhouse. You would have just seen like a random pig. People like, why is there some?
What's the pig there for?
What's the pig for? And then later on, people would have possibly gone back and mentioned, be like, oh, it was all the way back here. But like that would come retroactively. I think this builds it from Firefly Funhouse onto it more.
Yeah.
So I think I'm leaning more with the way they've done it.
I really like it, and I think it's a good thing for social media as well, because I'll be honest, the Pig Boy, I didn't notice it. So, and at the same, I didn't notice Abby the Witch or Bird Raptor either. It was only when I was on Twitter later on and people are sharing the images of it that I was like, amazing. Like, that's actually really cool. And actually the Pig Boy coming out and like just, I thought it was really, I really like it.
Yeah.
Also got to give a shout out to, I believe it was Leisure Suit Larry, who was one of our pledge hammers, a $50 pledge hammer as well, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was at the show.
Oh, really?
He was,
okay.
You saw a guy at the front with the Support Wrestle Talk
Oh,
t-shirt.
yeah.
That was our boy.
Oh, awesome.
So thank you very, very much for
Larry.
wearing that. You were all over the show. Not even you could avoid the Shane McMahon vortex. We then had a match between the Planeteers of Daniel Bryan and Rowan against the New Day. Did like Rowan wearing a Gojira t-shirt. He's the heaviest master in the universe. Very formulaic. Heels worked over Xavier. Big E gets the hot tag. And then they won.
Yep. I mean, it was so formulaic to the point where they had the shrink screen ad break, which is still fine to have wrestling in, by the way. It's the full ad breaks that you can't have wrestling in anymore.
Yes.
The shrink screen ad breaks are fine. It had that where they had the ad break, the heels were dominating Woods. As soon as it came back to full screen, Woods got the upper hand and Big E tagged in. It was instantaneous. As soon as he comes back, he hits like a little jawbreaker thing, hits a kick, tags in Big E. Big E runs wild. Midnight Hour, they win.
Yeah.
It was, to the second, you could see exactly what was going to happen.
And it again raises that question. If they're going to be the number one contenders, why did they lose on Sunday? And I still go back to, why did the Usos beat Daniel Bryan and Rowan at Money in the Bank? And then you said, that puts them in line for a SmackDown tag title shot. A storyline that's never been followed up on. They've actually just gone back to feuding with the Revival instead. So why have New Day lose if you were going to have them as the number one contenders?
And then, why'd you have Bryan and Rowan lose? Who are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions?
Yeah, they've lost a lot since winning those belts.
Really haven't they?
And they haven't introduced the new ones either.
No.
Brian said,
still the leather.
Yeah, still the leather. Brian said they were going to get new belts. They haven't yet.
No. I reckon that was a Brian moment, because I think, was it a WWE.com thing where he said, we're going to get new belts or something?
Maybe, must have been.
I think that was probably a Daniel Bryan thing to be like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to do that. And then WWE management were just like, no, you're just keeping those.
Did you see the ticket sales, mate? We can't afford it.
Yeah, true.
And then you had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens run in and beat them down, and Heavy Machinery come down to make the save, which just makes me think they wanted to do an 8-man all along, but you had to have that little break in there so you could do the ad break before you set up the second match.
Yeah, so they come down and make the save. Heavy Machinery and Owens and Zayn are now there. You come back from an ad break. Oh, we got an 8-man tag out of nowhere. It's like, but New Day just beat that. Why are they fighting again? I could understand if it was now Heavy Machinery versus Owens and Zayn. That was just a match that they just did. Fine. The other two teams have just wrestled with a decisive finish. Why are they now wrestling again? It makes no sense.
Small losses from Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And this was heels worked over Tucker. Otis got the hot tag, and they hit the compactor to win. Really, the key to this is Owens walked out on Sami Zayn during the match. So Bryan and Rowan got wiped out. New Day got wiped out. It was just down to Owens and Zayn versus Heavy Machinery, which, as you said, probably should have just been the match in the first place. Mm-hmm. And then Owens walked out on his tag partner, and they got beat. Which raises the question, why did they win on Sunday if you're going to split them up?
I don't know.
I just want to ask the question.
I just don't know
I'm just
anymore.
asking the questions here.
I don't know.
It's not long-term storytelling, and it's not particularly great for anyone. No one looks good in this because everyone just looks like a loser, basically.
And when they came out and they had the 8-man tag match kick off, I was like, there's no good way out of this. Because if the faces win, both the heel teams look rubbish, including your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And if the heels win, then it's just 50-50 booking. There's no good way out of this. Stop booking these terrible, terrible matches.
We've got a recap of Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss on Raw, which is when we had Nikki telling Alexa Bliss in a WWE.com video, I'm going to get you the match back. And then we got the Mustafa Ali promo. I'm going to guess this is the same one from Stomping Grounds. That's the one that Ollie was telling me about.
Yes, it's the same one from Stomping Grounds where he's being a superhero without really doing anything and looks at people getting mugged.
Someone in the Super Chats yesterday called him Captain Hindsight.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very good.
I like it, yeah.
Then we had the Miz versus Elias match, our first 2 out of 3 falls match of the evening. Shane was out too. We got some Your Local Sports Team heat. And this is where I suddenly had a bit of a revelation, because this is my first week. I'm sorry, I'm not my microphone there. This is my first week in this new era, this new reset era of WWE.
Which new era? There's been about 7.
Where Vince has had his new decree that there's no wrestling in ad breaks.
Sure.
So this is my first real time, my first 2 shows watching this. Mm-hmm. I had a bit of a revelation while watching it. The match structure is the same. There's just now 2 falls in there instead. Because Elias got the heat because Shane interfered, which in the olden days would have just led to an ad break, and then you would have the ad break, you'd come back, Miz would get the hot tag, would make a comeback, and then you go to the finish. That match structure is still there, only now you have 2 falls inside this match. You just have 3 finishes instead. So it's not good.
No.
It's really not good. And I saw someone in the comments yesterday say, like, look, they can't have a 20-minute match because they've got to have ad breaks every 15 minutes. Like, you can work with USA Network in the same way that sports channels work with networks, sports games with the baseball and whatnot, work with TV channels to be like, we're going to have our ad breaks at these points here. It's a live thing. We're going to go to the ad break. Once this segment is done, we'll have 5 minutes of ad breaks, and then we'll come back and we'll do the next segment. This is so easily done.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
And they're doing it this way instead. But this way makes everything feel fake and hokey.
Yeah.
And now we're just getting multi-pins per match. So, as Ollie said yesterday, everyone gets pins now. I don't think this is an effective way of doing it.
No, it's a terrible way of doing it. And I think I made a joke to you earlier, but now I'm seeing as less of a joke. I think we're going to get to a point soon where they're going to sell a singles match as some kind of novelty concept.
So that's the new gimmick match.
Yeah, because they're going to have so many 2 out of 3 falls matches. That will become the norm.
And elimination matches.
And elimination matches. So when on pay-per-view, they're going to be like, well, it's only going to be 1 fall will decide the winner. There's no second chances in this match. Oh,
do you know what? You might actually be on the money with that.
I think they will. Before long, it'll only take maybe a couple of months.
Yeah.
And they'll start advertising singles matches as a big draw.
But that's okay. So Elias got the first fall because Shane interfered, and then Miz made his comeback at this crowd crushing finale. Shane jumps in and causes the DQ. They beat down Miz, and then Elias hits his elbow drop to get the third fall. So Elias wins. Miz isn't getting another shot at Shane. I don't know where he would have had that shot anyway because Shane's already tied up for a match at Extreme Rules. But anyway, it's Skeletal Crew.
Yeah.
But my question is, because the Skeletal Crew argument works as the three of us are sitting here reviewing this show. Well, that's the confines that they're working with.
Yeah.
But in the kayfabe world of wrestling, where was Roman?
Yeah.
Why didn't Roman come down to help Miz being beaten down?
Exactly.
Roman's a dick. Why didn't
Yeah.
he come down? He had someone come down to help him on Monday.
Exactly.
But he can't even show up on a show he's actually a part
Exactly.
of.
He's a SmackDown star, lest we forget.
And help out Miz, who's being beaten down unfairly. Where was Roman?
Yeah. They'll never bring it up either.
No. On the money, they'll never mention it.
Never mention it.
It won't be mentioned on Raw. It probably won't be mentioned on SmackDown again next week. And we'll just all move on with our lives. Something I actually am interested in, though, is Kayla Braxton with Finn Balor talking about... She said, I forgot about this. She said, you beat Andrade in the most extraordinary way. I was like, I mean, he had a match.
No.
He's had a match, mate.
She just introduced him, normal introduction, as please welcome the extraordinary man who defeated Andrade in an extraordinary way at Super Showdown, the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. Oh my God.
It's not good.
I know that's his nickname, which is a terrible nickname, by the way.
It's too wordy.
The extraordinary man who does extraordinary things is way too long and way too wordy.
You wouldn't have got over if we gave you that nickname.
The extraordinary chopper who does extraordinary chopper things. No,
Or just
awful.
chopping.
Yeah, just chop things. So this was awful in many, many ways. But it's nice to see Finn on the show, I guess.
And you know what? So Finn Balor's doing this interview, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling Finn as an Intercontinental Champion. I don't think his reign's really been much. I actually forgot he was champion. Then all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura walks in. Taps the belt, and they have a little bit of a moment, and I'm like, Finn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This is great.
NXT!
I was like, I'm so invested in this championship. I'm really invested in this feud because I want to see this match. Shinsuke Nakamura came in, felt like a breath of fresh air because we haven't seen him forever. And I was like, this is brilliant. I'm thrilled. Thrilled. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited to see this match. Asterisk.
Oh, P. Come on, man. I'm trying to be positive here.
I really want to be positive about this match. But it's just the last since WrestleMania, things have not been great. So I'm not counting my chickens. I hopefully will be hyped for this match when it happens. I'm just trying to remain calm for now so I don't get burned like all the other times.
Maybe you're a smarter man than I.
Possibly. But it was fantastic to see Shinsuke, and it just reminded me of the time when I was watching NXT the most, which was then. That was when I was absolutely glued to it every single week. I had to watch it during that period of Balor and Joe and Nakamura. That was my time in NXT. So it just reminded me of then, and I was like, yes, please, really want to see this. That's great. But it's just a shame these two probably won't get the attention they deserve on the feud, because it'll probably be like a throwaway angle where one of them will attack the other from behind, and then that's it. You've got a pay-per-view match, and that'll do.
The Nakamura Finn thing in NXT, they were ships passing in the night, really, because it was as Shinsuke Nakamura was coming in, Finn was going up, so they were very much just sort of like they crossed paths very rarely. So actually, this feels like a very fresh feud in WWE in general. So I'm thrilled for it on that sense, and it's great to see Nakamura almost feel like he's getting some semblance of a push. I mean, I know it was only one segment, but you gotta grab these bits where you can.
Yeah.
Gotta grab your good bits where you can. And then someone messaged me on Twitter to say, like, can you imagine if Andrade's still interested in the title, though? And you have it as this sort of, like, three-way feud. I know I'm always about three-way feuds because I think you can do a lot with them, and they never bloody do them.
Never.
But those three working together,
that'd be amazing.
That just feels amazing.
Yeah.
Andrade's again one of these lands. We were talking about the people that aren't getting a fair shake of the stick because Raw guys keep getting shot to the WWE Championship. Andrade's another one of those lands that just feels like it's stop-start pushes. And I'm afraid for Andrade that if it's going to be another stop-start push for him, if he's not going to be featured on TV now for another few months while they wait to find out something for him to do, are people going to care when he comes back?
Definitely not. No.
I don't know. We then got the Nikki Cross and Bayley thing, which was Nikki Cross beating Bayley. This storyline sucks.
Yeah. I
don't like it. I don't like it. Yesterday, I said I didn't care because I said it was lazy because it's the third time we've seen this story done with the same woman, no less. But now I'm just like, now because it's affecting both shows, I really don't like it. And to Ollie's point yesterday, it's so inconsistent with Nikki Cross's character. Like, her character makes zero sense.
Yeah, I don't understand anything that happened. And even from a booking perspective, when you say if this person can beat the SmackDown Women's Champion, someone else will get a title shot for her, makes no sense on its own. And then Cross wins. So the SmackDown Women's Champion lost clean, completely clean, no less, to a woman she won't be facing at Extreme Rules. Why?
Well, yeah, quite.
Way to make your champions look strong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And your SmackDown Tag Champs lost as well.
Yeah.
Mello was looking for R-Truth, as we were talking about earlier.
And the WWE Champion got pinned in the same show. Love it.
Maybe it was a good job Finn wasn't on the show tonight properly. And they walk past Fire and Desire, and then they walk up to Drake Maverick, who essentially reiterates that they've ruined his life and his marriage, and yet somehow they're the good guys.
Which they have.
Yeah. And then Truth offers to lie down for him, and you're like, yeah, Truth, that is noble, because you did literally ruin his wedding. Mm-hmm. A wedding that he spent a lot of his mother-in-law's money on.
It's a good line.
A very good line.
Yeah.
I spent so much money of my mother-in-law's. Brilliant delivery. And so Truth, he ruined this man's wedding, this man's special day, the day that he's been dreaming of his entire life. So he's going to lie down for him and let Drake win the 24/7. Psych! No, I'm not. I'm a dick, apparently.
Yeah.
Somehow, he's still the babyface.
And I also very much enjoyed it. He was like, you know what? That's fine, yeah. Go get a referee. We'll do this. A referee is there. All of a sudden, one just appears. Like, oh, he's here. Awesome.
And that's the thing. So Drake is quite obviously the heel here because he's trying to use a lot of this, because he doesn't actually care about his marriage. He just cares about the belt. Like, he called it the love of his life, and he just wants to win the belt back. But at the same time, as a married man who very much enjoyed my wedding day, it was the best day of my life. I would have hated someone to just come and pin me for a belt that very few people care about.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been great. But I mean, you say that Drake is just trying to manipulate the situation or whatever. After this, the ref appears and Truth says psych and then runs off, and he says arrivederci or whatever he said. Runs off. And then the horde of people that normally chase Truth come by and they hit Drake as he comes past and he gets knocked to the floor. He looks really sad afterwards. He's got his head in his hands. He just looks really upset. So I don't know about the whole manipulating the truth kind of thing. He's like, no, my life is actually ruined.
My life is rubbish at the moment.
I hate everything.
WWE is up for 4 ESPYs.
No, 1 ESPY.
Oh, you're right.
Best WWE moment.
That's
and
right.
You got to vote between 4 different things.
So I didn't know about this until yesterday, when Holly told me that it's their own category.
Yep. Yep.
So good.
So they've got
watch on Screen Grapple.
Yeah, watch on Screen Grapple when they will talk about this more. But
it's amazing.
We mentioned it last week.
Oh, last week. Sorry,
really?
We're ahead of the curve, boys.
Oh, right. So good. I actually do need to
man.
catch up on Screen Grapple. I haven't watched any WrestleTalk videos since I've been back.
Terrible commitment, Luke.
I was on holiday, mate.
And I enjoy the fact that there's best athlete in sport, best whatever it is, best performance this year, best WWE moment.
Best WWE moment.
What?
It is amazing.
Sure.
So then we got Ember Moon versus Sonya Deville. This all started over donuts. Moon got distracted by Rose. Sonya posts her. Sonya wins. Rubbish.
Yeah, really rubbish.
Really
and
rubbish. Poor old Ember Moon.
A trend that I haven't mentioned yet throughout this show, and from what I haven't actually seen the opening of many matches on Raw. I've just seen YouTube clips and stuff. All the matches so far on the show, they always start off really fast because they don't have much time to get to that first fall or to that finish that they need to do. So there's no lockups at the start of matches anymore. They're all just like, oh, we're underway and there's a crossbody and there's a big boot and we've got to do spot really quick, which sometimes is fantastic. When you've got like a really hot rivalry, like a real blood feud and they really hate each other and they can't just wrestle, they have to fight. Really gets over that story amazingly. When every match does that, completely ruins it. So now, again, I think everything's going to be flipped and on pay-per-view it's going to be great lockup to start this match as like a selling point for it. So they're not starting it in the way they normally do on SmackDown. Like, oh god, I'm dreading where this program's going.
Well, where this program appears to be going in Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, segue.
Great segue.
Is after the match, they were celebrating in the ring. Mandy and Sonya were. Monya were. And Sonya strokes Mandy's hair, like pushes it behind her ear. And then Mandy has this little sort of girlish giggle, and they celebrate together again. You're like, because they've been teasing this now, seemingly for a long time. I actually said to Ollie, this is the LBGTQ storyline they've been promising us for some time now. It's going to be oh my God, I'm jet lagged, folks. Mandy is in love with Sonya. Yeah. No, Sonya's in love with Mandy.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think that this is going. But now it almost feels like that Mandy is also a little bit infatuated with her as well. It was edited off the YouTube version.
It was.
Which is interesting of note, but I don't know how much interesting. It was enough for a title. Look out for the SmackDown review coming up later on today. There was very little else to talk about, folks, so I was clutching at straws. So what do you think of this?
I want this to be a storyline, and I want it to be done respectfully. I don't know if it will be, and therefore I think it should be canned, because if you're not going to do it respectfully, please, for the love of God, don't do it.
Just don't do it at all.
Just please don't do it. But if they want to have a romance story play out, that's fine. Because it makes no difference whether it's straight or gay or whatever it is. It's the same storyline. If you want to do it respectfully, and don't make it like some weird grotesque thing where it's like, oh, they're doing it for like men's affection or something really insensitive that. Yeah. Like that would be horrible. So please don't do that.
Or they're doing it for ratings.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to do it, which you can do it respectfully is all I'd say. Exercise caution, which isn't something they do very often. So I don't have my hopes very high, but I would hope that because Sonya Deville is part of the LGBT community, she might actually have some say in what happens, and she might actually object to things that would be, insensitive.
Which would be great.
Or disrespectful. So I would hope that at least they'd have some sort of control over that part of it. So if they want to do it, go for it. Just please do it right.
I've got a question for you as well, actually. Obviously, I've not been here for a couple of weeks. Have the Iconics been on TV? Because they're the tag champs, right?
I forgot they existed. They were on, I want to say Raw. Not last week before, maybe. Yeah. They defended against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Oh.
And Nikki Cross cost them, I want to say. I forget things. All the episodes are the same these days. I want to say that Cross did something and then they got rolled up or something like that. So Iconics retained. Okay. Don't think they've been seen since.
But they haven't got a storyline.
No, not at all.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah. There was a storyline, by the way, which was from last week's show, which you wouldn't have seen, which was Kabuki Warriors.
Oh yeah, what about them?
And the Iconics.
Yeah.
So they said that Kabuki Warriors are going to have a match against the Iconics in Tokyo on their Japanese tour. If they win in Tokyo, then they get a women's tag team championship match.
Oh, okay.
So that's supposedly happening. Wasn't mentioned on this show at all. But I assume next week we'll see not the backlash. What's the word I'm looking for?
The Extreme Rules.
The fallout of that. Extreme Rules.
Okay, so then we got Aleister Black stuck in the Phantom Zone, wants someone to knock on his door. Then eventually, rat-a-tat-tat, someone does knock on his door, and he has this wicked little smile on his face. Very good promo from Black. But again, I've been saying this since he started doing this a long old time ago. promo work's always very good, but it just needed to lead somewhere. And I think now it's almost to the point of parody that it's taken so long to get to this point. It's Sanity debut all over again, where we're just like 8 old weeks later, and you're like, I'm past it now. I mean, I'm so glad it's over, seemingly, and we're getting to a match at Extreme Rules against Cesaro. Thumbs up for that. That could be a cracking little match. But I am ready for Aleister Black to be doing something other than just sitting in dark rooms. And apparently, looks to be, this was the final week of it.
Yeah, well, it was the final week of Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins and Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch. And they put over on commentary how much these feuds had ended, and then Raw happened. And we now have Extreme Rules.
I hope next week it's like they're just in the exact same position. And then he goes and answers the door, but it's in a different, different country. Really weird. Because, he didn't go and answer the door. He said he was going to.
Yeah. I would think if you've been asking someone to come to your door for ages and someone knocks on your door, you'd be like, oh my God, let's go answer the door.
Someone's here.
Let's go.
And then the main event was Dolph versus Kofi. It's a match we've seen 10,000 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 falls match. Didn't need to be one. It's only done for the ad break purposes. Both men got a fall. Kofi picked up the 3rd fall.
I will say it's very noteworthy on that 2nd fall. First time Kingston's been pinned since WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's Dolph Ziggler.
And it was just done because of ad breaks.
And it's on SmackDown.
Yeah. I also thought it was notable as well because during the Elias Miz match, Miz was completely beaten down because Shane and Elias kind of thrown in the ring. Then they were back in the ring, and the referee went, hey, ring the bell.
Yeah.
Third fall. And then Elias hit a move. But this ref was waiting until both men were back up onto their feet to start the next fall. So my question, or my point would be, just have it consistent. Have one set of rules that everyone follows, because you can't have one ref say you have to be on your feet for the match to continue, and then another ref to say, no, you're fine there, mate. You can get up. Just walk it off.
I think your problem there is you're asking WWE to have rules. And we know those don't exist.
I would like them.
But they don't happen. Wildcard never had rules.
That's true.
Never. And now that's been dropped because Wildcard was not mentioned once on this show or on Raw, I don't think. That never had rules. Superstar Shakeup never has rules. The Survivor Series stuff of Raw versus SmackDown never has rules or any kind of follow-up. Nothing has rules. Money in the Bank. Brock Lesnar wasn't a competitor. He still won. What are the rules? There are no rules for anything.
I thought this show was a SmackDowner. I did not get on with a lot of this show. There was nothing outright terrible, so it doesn't get a smack in the face. But I don't think it was a good show. I do think that Raw, the wild card started to really hurt SmackDown. But now that it's just become the Raw replay show, it's even worse.
Yep, I would agree with you. Also, SmackDowner. It was really strange how they went off the air because it's supposed to be like a feel-good way to go off the air. Hey, Kingston won, Ziggler's not going to Extreme Rules. Isn't everyone happy? But then they were just like, when you're against Samoa Joe, you only merely survive, and can Kingston do it against Samoa Joe? And it's like, it's not the go-home show. We've still got ages yet till Extreme Rules. Just let him be happy for a bit.
Yeah.
It was very strange. It was a weird way to end the show. Yeah, SmackDowner. Also, one final quick point is that for some reason, and I don't... This is a Vince thing written all over it. They're not called falls anymore. It's not the first fall, second fall. First fall opportunity. It's the second fall opportunity. It's the third fall opportunity.
No, then.
Why are they opportunities?
I missed that.
Yeah, it's really bad.
That's very bad.
Really bad. So, especially in the main event, you can notice it so much because there's a little bit when it goes, we're going to be coming back for the third fall opportunity after this and see who can win. And then it cuts to the ad break and comes back and goes, we're back with the third fall opportunity.
You're totally right that that's a Vinceism. Because remember, they stopped being called title shots. They were championship opportunities.
Opportunities, yeah.
That's bad.
Really bad, yeah.
Simon, what's going on in the Super Chats? Are people going to be able to cheer us up a little bit there?
There are tons of super chats.
Right, good. Well, that's good. Let's
pace through them.
Pace through them. Let's do this.
All right, so Kevin High says, I got a free Susu super chat. #, Bailey Sting.
#, Bailey Sting.
That's the first #, Bailey Sting.
Still going.
Nice,
very good. Thank you.
Moin Cunib says, do you think WWE will finally get better once AEW starts weekly TV?
It's an interesting idea. I think it depends on... I tell you what, it will be... after the first couple of weeks of ratings, that is when you will probably see, because if it does well in its first week of ratings, that's always that's bound to happen. That's always seemed to be like, that's the fluke. It's the interest. It's this, that, and the other. You'd say the same thing about about Double or Nothing selling out really quick. Of course, there was a lot of intrigue, this, that, and the other. All Out selling out even quicker. Yeah. Really shows that there actually is some like momentum behind this. But if the ratings by like week 4 are really strong and crucially are either in line or better than what WWE are doing, that's when they'll step things up.
Absolutely, yeah. It really just depends on how well they can do in the ratings and how much Vince McMahon pays attention to it. I don't know what they do to change it, because it seems like they've been trying to change now for like since January time. They've been throwing all this stuff at the product and seeing what sticks. So I don't know what they're going to do to actually make it better, but I think they'll try if AEW does well. Yeah.
There was someone who did an interview, I can't remember who it was actually. It was someone who's worked for WWE that said that Vince was never scared of TNA, but he is scared of AEW.
Yeah, I read that as well. Yeah.
Jobber JJ496 says Nakamura v Balor, book it in New Japan.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah,
sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Why not?
I'd say that about most WWE feuds, actually. Book it in New Japan.
Joe versus Kingston. Book it in New Japan. Yeah.
The Brahma Bull,
The Rock.
Roberto.
Yeah.
Who is the IC champ now? Why does WWE suck so much?
Great question.
Yeah.
Great
He's
question.
wrestling dark matches for SmackDown.
Oh, did he have a dark match?
2 weeks ago, the dark match was Nakamura v Balor.
In a dark match down the dark stairs.
For
Well.
the dark title.
Dark timeline.
Yeah.
There's some interaction going on. So forgive me, people, if I've misunderstood this. But somebody is, Danielle Rios says, hey guys, who's this RR Rockberto? He sounds cute. So I assume maybe they're together. Or we could have our first Super Chat couple.
Super Chat romance.
Swap Nation marriage.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And someone pins someone for the 24/7 title.
Yes, has to happen. No, someone pins someone for the Wrestle League trophy emoji trophy. It has to happen.
We've got Dustin Pillon saying Rusev to absolutely anywhere but WWE confirmed.
Yeah, it certainly is. The unemployment line.
Yeah.
That's the story that Rusev is on the outs.
Love
Talking
to
of
see
which,
Japan.
But for super duper reels this time.
Yes.
Talking of which, do you think Akira Tozawa is leaving WWE?
No. I haven't heard anything about him being frustrated in the company. He just got a Cruiserweight Championship match. He looked good in the match. Like he was able to showcase his wrestling in it. I don't see why he wouldn't stick around for a bit.
You've kind of answered this already, but Bobby AJ asked earlier, what do you think about the potential love angle between Mandy and Sonya? I think I smell another Bayley, Sasha, Mickey, Trish story.
Yeah, if it's I as long as it's done tastefully, it's not done just to try and pop ratings. I think that'd be the most disgusting use of it.
Exactly, yeah, and it's not done for the guys to go, ooh, girls kissing. Yeah, no, that'd be awful.
Don't want Eric Bischoff, HLA.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want that.
No. This is quite good. I'm going to really struggle to read the name. Lino to Papa de Galdo.
Good effort.
Good effort.
Like it, mate.
Yeah.
Unknown WWE management figure is the Vince puppet.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, if that was the reveal.
Oh,
if that
God.
was like just like swivel around in a chair.
Yes, it's the devil puppet.
They finally burst in. We found out who WWE management is. It's like, I've been expecting you, but it's the little puppet.
I am the authority figure.
Adrian Wells said, who do you think knocked on Aleister Black's door? Where's Bray Wyatt? Because all the puppets in the background, of course, appearing throughout the show. So.
Indeed.
So WrestleVotes said it's looking to be Cesaro, but I'm gonna get what they've said exactly because it's quite interestingly worded. So as of now, this is directly from WrestleVotes on Twitter, who have a very, very good track record of scoops.
Almost flawless as of late.
Yeah, absolutely, almost flawless. As of now, Aleister Black is scheduled to work Extreme Rules. I can't 100% confirm his opponent, but as of earlier today, WWE had decided on Cesaro. We'll see. So we don't know for sure if it's Cesaro, but at the moment, that is the plan.
You would have hoped when they started airing the Aleister Black promos, they had someone in mind. But no, even when we've heard a knock on the door, still don't know who it is yet.
Yeah, but you'd have thought that as well about the anonymous Raw GM.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Where that went.
Yeah.
Tony Pentikainen says, I'd like WWE to reboot the Ascension, team them with Aleister Black for this day's ministry, and Taker could even manage them. What do you think?
As long as they're not the ministry, like they're not called
Yeah.
the ministry, because the worst thing you want to be is just like, LOD 2000s, where you're a new version of an old thing, because all you do is you get like, as long as Ted DiBiase Jr. was trying to be the new $1 million man, it's like you just come off as a cheap imitation.
Yeah, I think that was the Ascension's problem when they first came to the main roster, was they repackaged him to look like Legion of Doom, and then just said, hey, we're not the Legion of Doom, which you totally are. So I wouldn't want them to be the ministry. I wouldn't mind seeing like a faction of some sort. I don't want them to be managed by Taker, because that is literally saying, we are the ministry. So we don't want that. But I'd be down for a faction. Ascension's good. I like them. So yeah, sure, why not?
I actually forgot Ascension were a thing.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, I know that like it was my most popular fantasy booking warfare I've ever done was my friend Aleister Black as the leader of the new ministry.
Yeah.
But I don't think Aleister Black needs a faction.
No, not at all.
I don't think that he really needs like heavies or anything like that, because he's got the Black Mass. Like one kick and you're out.
I don't think he needs them, but I think it might further a character if he has them. If he won't like dirty his hands on like some undercard talent.
Some SmackDown guy.
Yeah, some SmackDown idiot, right? But I think if they reserve him for like big pay-per-view matches and he doesn't wrestle the rest of the time, he's like, no, I'm not gonna wrestle here. I'm gonna have my other guys do my work for me, and he can like interfere in matches and stuff like that. That would be fine. But if he just has heavies because he can't do it himself, that's a bit terrible.
Yeah.
I think it'd be quite cool to have a heel faction leader, because they're like the boss level of that faction rather than just being like a weasel.
Yeah.
That would
Exactly.
be quite cool. So he's got this one move that can just kill anyone.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone's afraid of. So he only just, because he knows his power, kind of only steps in to kind of finish the job rather than...
Also, kind of like the
Exactly.
visual of the Ascension like holding people up so that he can give them the Black Mass. Would be
Yeah.
quite cool.
That'd be great.
Cameron says donated. We're just going to thank him.
Thank you very much.
KJ says Raw isn't killing SmackDown. It's the big letters, best of both worlds.
God.
Well, yeah, I
It's
mean,
the best of one world.
That's very true. Yeah.
Undefined Studios has suggested one show in smaller arenas.
Yeah.
It's probably a good start, to be honest.
Here's some good super chats today.
Someone's an accountant.
They keep booking themselves in the Hubris Dome.
Yeah. Pavi, Luke's number one fan,
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
has suggested that Pete shaves his beard so Vince won't know who is who.
It's funny because I actually had my beard shaved this couple days ago. In fact, it was a day this week. I actually had it shaved a little bit. It's just trimmed.
Nice, man.
So it's not so wild and wacky. You never saw it because it was the day you came back.
Yeah.
You never
It
saw
was
how bad
getting bushy.
It was terrible. It was about 2 weeks overdue. But yeah, this is actually shaved beard and shaved head, as you can see.
It's very nice, mate.
So,
We are the
thank
Baldy
you.
Boys today.
We are, yeah.
We've got Chris Blass has asked, what are your top 3 favourite rivals throughout WWE? It's quite. There's not really many rivalries.
Favorite rivalries.
I was going to say current day. That's very
Not involving Shane McMahon really limits the list.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you're talking about like current day
Favorite
product like today, that's
rivalries.
really, really difficult.
Yeah.
But like
that's
best
so
rivalries of
hard.
all time is like Austin Rock, Rock Mankind in 1999,
Austin McMahon.
Austin
obviously.
McMahon, yeah, Undertaker Kane. Although they had terrible matches.
They did.
Never a good match between Undertaker and Kane. It was just bad match after bad match. But cool angles where they were like chokeslamming each other into flaming caskets.
Was it WrestleMania? What was WrestleMania where Undertaker actually came back as a dead man? Is
That 2020.
20,
yeah.
That match is actually quite, because it's not too long and they just kind of do the stuff and the
Yeah.
entrance is amazing.
Yeah, you just got Uncle Festus standing there like, you can't be here,
Yeah.
you're dead.
Is that when he goes like, "You're no son of mine," like that?
Great line.
Brad Grove says, watching the Firefly Funhouse puppets appearing backstage. All I'm hoping for now is a segment with an undercard like R-Truth talking to the Devil Vince McMahon puppet, thinking it's the real Vince.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I don't want to turn these puppets
so
like, into like straight into comedy, but that's actually quite good.
That's
Yeah.
very
That's
funny.
really good.
Yeah. Marco Juarez says, it was very boring,
Yeah.
which is a fine review and worth noting.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
it
he's
is.
talking about
SmackDown.
SmackDown and not our review of it.
Hey, I've sat through this whole thing. Hey guys, here's some money. By the way, it was boring.
forgive me, John DePetro, Randy Andy Datson's number 2 fan. I'm not sure I understand this. It might be a reference to something that within Rambles that I'm
Sure.
go over my head a bit. There's RIP no commercials during wrestling 624 to 625. Wonder what that means. If you can enlighten us on what that means.
I don't know on that one. 624 to 625?
24th of June.
June, yeah. Oh, that's just one day. That's it. And it's already done.
Yeah.
Good, I like it.
I mean, but there wasn't commercials during wrestling. It was just the shrink screen.
Yes, shrink screen is
So
fine.
they're still fine.
You can still see it.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to solve this problem, which isn't really a problem. And they've chosen the weirdest solution.
They really have.
It's actually remarkably the worst solution possible.
Yeah. It's like they've literally gone like, what's 2 and 2? And they've gone, apples. You go, what? Aaron Black has donated, so thanks to him.
Thank you very much.
The Mikey Chaos says the only good thing about the brand split ending is now Survivor Series won't be Raw versus SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
It might still be.
Oh god! Imagine if it still is.
Everyone coming out in those stupid T-shirts that are half their shirt, half the other shirt.
T-shirts. I hate those T-shirts.
But just imagine though, if we've been having Raw and SmackDown feuds the entire year, and then they still plug it as the one night of the year where Raw and SmackDown go head to head in direct competition. I'll be furious, but I can totally see it happening.
Oh yeah,
can totally see it happening.
Hopefully, they've learned something from just how they've done like War Games, NXT. With a much smaller roster, they still managed to cobble together factions or at least loose associations that made sense enough that when a big team event comes, it all makes sense and they can have a big. And it doesn't all have to blow off into some crazy thing. It doesn't have to be like their lives and careers are on the line. It can just work.
Problem is that in those matches, no one's wearing brand T-shirts, so therefore it's rubbish.
Apart from the Dispute Era.
But
they'll throw on their own brand every now and again.
But they'll take it off when a match starts.
That's true. Bobby Fish leaves this on for a long time, I feel.
It does, yeah. Admittedly, in the first War Games match, Roderick Strong did dress up like an Author of Pain.
Oh, he did, yeah.
So technically, he was branded.
Yeah,
he was indeed.
Author of Pain.
And also, I think in another War Games match, Ricochet put war paint on, like the War Raiders. And Pete Dunne did as well, I want to say.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It's all branded. There's just not T-shirts. That's the only difference.
Jonathan Hedman says, hi everyone, I felt like SmackDown was Groundhog Day. I'm starting to get so disinterested in the product, I need cheering up. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think we've actually done that.
I
hope we have brought some sort of form of life to it.
If you enjoy us complaining about stuff, yeah.
If you enjoy...
Sure we have.
If you enjoy white people complaining, then you've come to the right place.
Sorry, this was typed a bit weirdly. Adam has said that KO called Schreiber not Renee, and it was great on the YouTube.
Oh,
there's
amazing.
a YouTube clip from earlier in the week. He just called her not Renee. Get out of the ring. I also love his when he reads the cards, but he's got the wrong bit on the next card.
Yeah. Where he's asking the questions, but like the questions seem to be split across two different.
Get out of here, man. It's just a great bit.
They are good, but apparently they're splitting that act up now. So
of course they are.
Thumbs up to that because it's good.
Oh, hold on, I've lost my place.
Oh, Simon.
There we go, found it.
We're live, pal.
So JX531 has donated. So
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
TJ Ridgway says, calling it now, the knock at the door was Uber Eats.
Yes, that's what I said earlier. It's just going to be a pizza delivery guy just being like, sorry, wrong door.
Well, I mean...
Big misunderstanding.
I just hope it's their own Uber Eats and not someone else's, like that guy who stole mine a couple of weeks ago. Utter bastard.
Yeah.
Ruined our entire plan.
It did actually ruin the day.
Luckily, you're over it, so it's fine. Flint Mech says whoever's at the door just needs Alistair to let him in. Obviously, referring to everyone now thinks it's going to be Bray.
Bray Wyatt.
Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I quite like the idea of it being Bray.
I don't want either of them to lose.
But don't put people together where you need both of them to win. Exactly. Why ruin at least 50% of them for no reason?
Simon's got the right answer.
But then they won't ruin 50% of them. They'll ruin both of them by having a double DQ finish because they want to protect both of them. It's gonna be awful.
This is interesting. Leisure Suit Larry. Has said he was at the show last night.
Yeah, he was.
He was wearing the T-shirt, right?
Yeah,
he was.
That's him. Yeah,
great guy.
He was indeed. What an absolute hero. Not all superheroes wear Wham-inspired T-shirts.
Yeah,
this is true. He said the pre-match was Ali versus Buddy Murphy, and he asked himself, why not put this match on TV?
Right.
An excellent question.
Yeah.
An absolutely excellent question.
We've got
Larry.
enough time for 3 separate Shane segments, but not Ali versus Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
Jeff Sensibar has donated, so thanks to him.
Thank you very much.
Jobber JJ496 has said, here's to Fox pissing away money. Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Van Thomas says, so how does this affect the Miz theory? I don't know what the Miz theory is.
So the Miz theory,
okay.
so during the brand splits, it was whatever show Miz was a part of, it was the best show. So when he was part of
I
SmackDown,
remember.
it was like, oh, SmackDown's better than Raw. When then you jumped to Raw, and all of a sudden Raw became better than SmackDown. Wildcard really did throw that into disarray.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'd still argue that Raw, for the last couple of weeks, Raw has been marginally better than SmackDown, and Miz is a Raw guy, so maybe it still holds true.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what show Miz appears on, it's just whatever brand he's affiliated with. And he's affiliated with Raw, therefore Raw is marginally better. That's my theory, anyway.
Are we, is the Miz theory now going to become the Star Trek movie rule? Where J.J. Abrams' movie sort of like ruined it all for us.
Yeah.
It ruined everyone's fun.
Jay Personen says, AC/DC, A Big Gun, has the best music video ever made. Fight me.
Well,
I mean, sure, I haven't seen it.
I
I wouldn't remember it off the top of my head, so
Jay-Z will tell you it's Beyonce.
That's
of
true.
course.
Thor Harken Ludvigsen
What
has
a
donated.
great name.
I know, really cool.
That's cool. Thank you very
has
much.
donated.
Thank
So
you.
thank him. Ryan B. Bad says, this wasn't a terrible SD live, but it was still below average. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, more Chopper Pete, and this Hyman Simon thing has really come back to burn me. Ollie messed up my name the first time I did a ramble.
Yeah.
And it's a problem.
It's stuck.
It's stuck.
Mike Martin too says, checking the backstage segments for puppets was one of the biggest highlights of the show.
Yeah. That's going to be me now on every segment of every show. It's been like, is there a puppet?
Well, it's certainly made people walking backstage interesting.
Yeah,
so,
that's true,
you
yeah.
know, credit where credit's due.
Gilbert Bliss says, do you think Joe has a chance to actually win at Extreme Rules, or is it just a filler feud until Shane is free to take the title at SummerSlam?
It's not going to be Shane.
Fill a feud until Shane wins the title at
It's
SummerSlam.
not. Shane is not. Fill a feud, but Shane's not winning the title.
Well, we'll see in a couple of months.
He's facing Roman. That's what they've been built. I swear to God, if they do Shane versus Kingston, I'm going to flip a desk. Probably not mine, because that has some stuff on it. I'll flip Datson's desk.
Oh, yeah, definitely flip that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It'd actually make it tidy for a change.
British Anger says, the WWE star power, what it doesn't have is a sound business plan. Learn to plan a show around the commercial instead of having more falls.
There you go.
There you go.
Do you know what? If people like you and I can work this out,
I know.
How hard can it be?
how hard can it be?
Yeah, it's like no one's ever just gone you don't have to do that. And they've gone, what?
And Vince
This
is
was
just
the
like,
only
no,
solution.
no, idiots.
So,
Come on, this is obviously the way we have to do it.
My friend Ross, who wrote Bob Holly's book, and he's recently just released Al Snow's autobiography as well.
Awesome.
He sent me a message on Facebook yesterday. He'd put up a post on Facebook 7 years ago that just said, well, I mean, far be it from me to tell Vince McMahon what to do, but I really do question coming out and essentially saying that your product is rubbish and you're going to do whatever you can to make it better. That was 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
But he ended it with be like, but he's run more successful wrestling companies than I have, so maybe he's onto something.
Yeah.
That's what people say when they like recall broken, like deadly baby toys. That's what they say. They'll say, we'll do better. We're going to endeavour to do everything we can to fix the issues. Like, that's what they say.
It was every press release by the company that makes the Child's Play dolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
We won't let serial killers' souls get trapped into another one.
Ben Greenwood says, WWE consistent mediocrity. Woohoo, my favourite.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, at least they're consistent.
That's
yeah, as are we.
true. So Abram Penner says, from Dallas, Texas, hello, and
Hey.
he's a long-time listener. What are your thoughts on the 2 out of 3 falls concept? I know they use these rules in CMLL.
Did they actually?
Yes, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
they-
for
yeah,
ad
they-
breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it's not for ad breaks. This is a
They-
special exception.
They do
but-
Mexican wrestling does have lots of multiple fall matches, but
Oh,
they don't often use it to introduce new people throughout the match, I don't think.
No, they do it as
No.
almost like a round
Yeah.
function, really. Because actually, I caught some CMLL while I was in Peru on my final
nice.
night. I was just flicking through some TV channels while me and my sister-in-law's boyfriend were having a couple of cheeky beers. And it was, I'll be honest, I found it wildly confusing. A, I didn't have any English commentary to kind of explain what was going on. But B, I was just like, oh, the match is over. No, it's still going. And that, no, okay, it's still going. I think new people are coming. I've no idea. Because like my sister-in-law's boyfriend was looking to me, the guy who works for a wrestling channel, to explain what was going on. I'm like, sorry, mate.
Don't know, mate.
Don't know. I can tell you about Brock Lesnar if you'd like, though.
Yeah. It's not the 2 out of 3 falls that are confusing. It's there's 11 people in this match. Okay, cool. Guess we'll just do that then.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, but to answer the question, I really don't like the 2 out of 3 falls aspect. And actually, it was a point that you made during the review, P, which was an excellent point. Well done, you. Which was that it was the first time that Kofi's been pinned since WrestleMania, which really should have felt like a big moment.
Huge moment.
A huge moment. We could have had like, I've been undefeated since WrestleMania, but now he has been defeated since WrestleMania, so that means nothing now.
I mean, they used that to build an entire story in NXT. Adam Cole got 1 fall over Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and they built an entire new story arc out of that one thing that just happened. This one will never be brought up again because he won 2 out of 3 falls, and that's it. Ziggler goes away to do whatever now.
You're not supposed to remember it.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just be like, no, he won.
Yep.
Was it 2 out of 3 falls? No. It was a singles match. He won.
It's a mark in the win column.
Look, it's a Trouble in Paradise. Video recap. He won.
Jonathan Hedman asks, are you seeing the Avengers cash grab game this weekend? I'm seeing that Friday and then Spider-Man on Monday.
I didn't know it was a thing until yesterday. By that point, all the tickets had gone. But I mean, it calls it a cash grab. It's a smart way to do it. It's how Avatar made all of its money. It was a second release. So release it again.
Yeah,
that way you break the box office.
Literally just releasing it again.
With a post-credit sequence.
Oh, this is they're going to stick the new...
Deleted, some sort of deleted scenes.
Yes, there's deleted scenes that are going in there. So yeah, so it's got new footage. But it's exactly what Cameron did with Avatar, which is why it made so much money in the first place. Yeah, it's just a way for them to make sure they're the biggest movie ever. And I'd much rather that be the biggest movie ever because Avatar's pants.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like an actual good film to be the highest grossing film of all time.
It's not pants, it's fine. Like
it's fine. It looks very pretty.
Very pretty.
It's amazingly pretty, but that's about it.
But I've seen Pocahontas, so
yeah.
And that animation was also very pretty. So didn't need to see it again with blue people. Blue cats.
John Marth says, welcome back, Luke.
Cheers, mate.
Jason Eason has donated, as well as RJ Calmerin.
Thank you very much to everyone.
Christopher Beasley, I think this is true. Is the 24/7 belt just the Saudi belt with new plates? I think it is. I think it really clearly is.
I think the Saudi one was a much lighter shade of green.
Oh, was it? And it also had the thicker strap like the Universal belt.
So, yeah.
Still. Sure.
It's just as ugly though.
Oh yeah. Sleepy Sora, first super chat.
Oh, hello.
Are there any credible challenges to compete for the WWE or Universal title, or WWE have to create someone credible? I think credible is the key word missing for a lot of the current crop of challenges.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we and Ollie were talking about this yesterday, in that Owens and Sami Zayn and these sort of people that Kofi's been fighting should feel like credible main eventers because they are easily they could be positioned as credible main eventers. Problem is they haven't been for so long, so then when you just throw them into the title picture, you're like, I don't buy it. So it can be done. It's just that I think you need to do some groundwork to kind of make a star and make someone feel credible, and then you can put them into these matches.
I would even say you could do either build someone up and have them slot them into the championship picture, or you could have someone make a return/debut and put them straight in and make him feel special. Aleister Black hasn't been seen for ages, and he's been doing promos backstage. Have him just come out and give him a WWE Championship match. He doesn't have to win, but make him feel special by doing so.
Give him some amazing near falls in there.
Exactly, yeah. Make him look really strong in the match,
yeah.
And suddenly you've got a star. The only problem with the other guys, why they don't feel like stars, is because they've been overexposed and terribly booked for ages. If you don't have that problem with people who haven't been seen in ages, even Randy Orton, who's not been seen in ages, you can just put them in championship pictures and people kind of forget all the stuff that's happened in the past because it's been so long. So then you're just like, awesome. Yeah, the championship match, credible. He could win. Awesome. Yes. Yeah. More of this.
Yeah, I agree. How many more super chats we got?
We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about... Oh, God, yeah, we've got about...
Lots.
Yeah.
Got lots.
Lightning round.
Yeah, lots.
Lightning round. Let's go.
Quick shot. It's hot in here.
It is very hot in here. Okay, Judas Black says, once again, Dolph Kofi was the best match of the PPV, which is fair.
It wasn't, but nice.
What match are you most excited for at Fighter Fest? Personally, in the comments, see Cody versus Darby Allin. That's from Evie Duran.
Darby Allin is cool.
Darby Allin's very cool.
I think I'm most looking forward to Elite versus Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid.
Yeah.
I love the Lucha Bros.
Yeah. And Moxley.
Moxley Janela.
Janela,
Yeah,
it's been
should be a
great.
good one.
Actually, Daniel Seaman will be really good as well.
Yeah, lots of good matches.
Lots of good matches. Nicholas Belgraf said he didn't notice Pete was bald because he wore a hat.
Yeah,
So-
that's why I wore a hat all the time.
Tim Rent said, let's be honest, Rowan's t-shirts are the best thing about him.
yeah.
He has got a nice beard as well.
He's got a great
He has
beard.
got a nice beard.
And he has a fantastic voice. Very intimidating, deep voice.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Moody says that Cross is definitely turning on Bliss, right? They're talking way too much about Bliss being untrustworthy for me to trust it.
So now a few people have said that's the swerve that's coming. Everyone's expecting that
possibly.
it's Alexa that's manipulating Cross, but actually it's Cross that's manipulating Bliss, although I don't know why Cross would manipulate Bliss to earn her a title shot?
Yeah.
Question mark?
To be fair, though, that's exactly why they do the swerve, because it makes no sense. So.
But also then, like, Cross is the heel and Bliss is the babyface. Unless Cross, then it's just Cross breaking free of her chains, I guess, and she realizes that she's being used.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's still pants, though.
Yeah.
Flintmech says, could commentary try and put over all this stipulation nonsense as billed to the PPV named Extreme Rules? It's weak, but at least it would be a story. P.S. Hell yeah, Gojira.
Yeah, Gojira, man. What a great band. Saw them at Bloodstock a few years ago, and they were amazing. Absolutely brilliant.
That's nice. Lightning round. Yeah, I can't remember what the question is now. But yes.
Could commentary do a better job of putting over all
Yes.
these ridiculous stipulations? I mean, Michael Cole's commentary on Raw this week in particular was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they could definitely do more to try and put it over,
But there
they're
are
not.
there are no stipulations at Extreme Rules yet. They're just tag matches and singles
But
matches.
did you know it's the one night of the year where WWE gets extreme?
So, yeah, there are no stipulations to put over yet.
Yeah.
Great. Tana Starika says Bray Wyatt is the GOAT. Hashtag Muscle Man Dance. Hashtag let him in. Jonathan Baru says Nakamura wins belt. Black versus Nakamura full belt.
Yes.
Poor old Finn.
Poor old
Yeah,
Finn.
poor Finn, but yes, please.
Jobber JJ496 says Luke 24/7 belt is worth it. It's worth it for the comedy.
Agreed.
And then doubled up in it and said, Luke, I care about the W 24/7 belt.
I do say few people care about it.
I care about it because I actually look forward to laughing sometimes. And not in laughing at the product. I laugh with the product for once.
I've said my thing about the 24/7 rule. It's something for the lower mid card to do, and that's grand. I've just said the belt means nothing.
No,
The belt doesn't mean anything.
It means zero, but it provides some laughs, and for me that's fine. You can have a comedy segment each week.
I just
More
feel
than happy.
I just feel sorry for a lot of the people that get involved in
Absolutely.
this. When I saw Cedric Alexander, and I was like, "Come on, mate,
Yeah, I
you're
know.
better than this."
Yeah. Bucky the Ace Ventura has pointed out that Wyatt debuted on July 8th, 2013. Will he
did.
debut on July 8th, 2019?
It
I
is.
don't know what day July 8th
It's on a Monday.
is. It's a Monday.
So,
Cool.
I mean, and this whole
And-
thing has been about sort of like his, looking back on his past and sort of reflect on his whole career. So that actually is quite nice. It's quite nice and symmetric.
It's also the go-home show for Extreme Rules.
Is it really?
Extreme Rules is on the 14th.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Crikey.
Wow.
It's come around quick.
Daoud Khan has donated, so thanks to him.
Thank you very
you.
much.
The AdNap has said, I think Seth Rollins is defending WWE so hard because he's paranoid WWE will blame him as champion for the low attendance and ratings.
Ooh, interesting. I like that as a
good theory.
theory. That's good.
That's a really good theory.
yeah.
Man, I hadn't thought about that at all. I just thought he had a lot of pride for his work in his company, but that's a really interesting point, actually.
Yeah. No,
I hadn't
like
thought
that.
about that.
Yeah.
Kenzilla says, would you rather have a LGBTQ story with Mandy and Sonia or had one 3 years ago when Darren Young came out publicly and was teaming with Titus O'Neil?
I mean, either would have been fine as
Yeah.
long as it's done. If it was the exact same storyline and that storyline was respectful, then it would have been fine with both of
Yeah,
them.
I kind of feel like he's suggesting that 3 years ago it would have definitely been horrible.
Yeah.
And disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
perhaps
think-
now,
okay,
even,
yeah. Oh, I see.
even
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what we're getting at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
3 years ago it would have been worse.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
Miguel 8A says he's super excited and happy to see Nakamura again.
Me too.
Hey, me too,
Yeah,
man.
me too.
Me too.
Fools are, Tim Arendt says fools are called opportunities now.
Yeah.
Why is that a bad thing? SmackDown is the land of opportunity.
The land of pinfalls.
God.
That's great.
Yeah. Opportunities now.
Gotta get to you gotta brand things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Buzzwords.
Okay, Brian Hoyt says, if you think about it, Shane kind of deserves a world title. A world title run. He has wrestled Kurt Angle, Undertaker, and cage match AJ Miz, Mick Foley. He kind of deserves a world title.
He's a top guy. He's one of the few top guys this company has. He is this company's top heel.
Yeah. If wrestling is just the result of booking, he is clearly the strongest and clearly the best contender for any big title at this point.
He won at WrestleMania. He won at Money in the Bank. He won at the Royal Rumble. He's on he's
Won at Super Showdown.
He's absolutely. He's on a bit of a winning streak at the moment.
He's also not a wrestler. My God.
His trophy says otherwise.
His participation merit. Talking of not wrestlers, Tomo. I think Pete now wants to be part of a kendo stick opportunity on a pole match.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Book it.
Kyle Stefan says, prediction, Alexa wins the championship due to Nikki Cross interference. Bayley Sting debuts.
All for it, mate.
Bayley has been more aggressive as of late. Also, did you notice, fun fact, in the Bayley Cross match, Bayley was wrestling she wasn't wrestling heel, but she had the heel's role. When they went to the shrink screen ad break, Bayley was in control working over Cross, and then as soon as they came back from the break, Cross took over and got her momentum back. Bayley Sting. It's happening. It's happening.
God. Will Adams says, what if the knock on the door was just a prank and Alistair opens up just to see no one there? Now, to be fair, that could happen just in the sense that they haven't thought of who it is yet. They might just use that as a kind of way of swerving.
Yeah.
It's like you see some kids running down the hallway.
Yeah.
Carl Stefan again says, it's gonna be Shane, which I think could be...
It's gonna be Shane.
Yeah. It's gonna be Shane. Here we go. Timorent says, I've actually been tempted to ask you guys for a job for the last year, but I've always stopped myself. I have too much hair to work for you guys.
Hey, look at Simon.
Look at Simon. He's got a full head of hair.
Captain America over here with his full head of hair.
Okay. Sam Clark says, hey, Bayley, whoa, I want to know, will you be my Sting? Jonathan. Yes. This Bayley Sting thing is really kicking off.
We've had some amazing super chats today.
Could you imagine if it happened, though?
I know.
Okay,
I would lose my mind.
We're getting towards the end now.
That's good.
Jonathan Hedman says, Avatar isn't even quotable. Which is true.
Yeah. I genuinely can't think of one line from Avatar.
No. It's a bad film, that's why.
Probably someone said hello at some point. Probably.
Our favourite name, Thor Harkon Ludvigsson, says, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jeremy Smith says, welcome back, Luke. Beard looking good, Pete. And here's an idea. If Simon ends up losing Wrestle League, he must shave his head to match the other lad.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, his hair's too nice.
So I would...
It'll grow back.
I would kill you all with my bare hands.
Although you're leaving us, aren't you? Before
before it finishes.
Yeah, so actually, in theory, you can't lose.
I will be back, but I will be gone for a long enough amount of time. You'll be deep into the next series of Wrestle Leagues.
Lovely.
Which is why I've just said I just need to beat Pete, and I'm only 3 points behind him now.
I know you are so close, and I don't like it.
Where are we? Here we go. Johnny Garcia says, greetings from Dallas.
Hello.
Next week, we see the worst and best of wrestling, Raw Monday and G1 Saturday.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. Forgot it was G1.
Yeah.
Ben Greenwood just says, WWE 2 out of 3 Falls, lol, because the company is a joke.
Yeah,
Yeah?
kind of is at the minute.
It is at the moment.
And the final one is from Tammy Lockley. Says, first super chat. Love it. I love you guys.
Oh, well,
Thank
we
you very
love
much.
you. Thank you so much for all of your super chats. We love each and every bloody one of you. We've also got to give a shout out to some of our $25 and above pledge hammers on Patreon, who we also love. If you want to get involved with that, head over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk, and you can get your name at the $25 and above level, and you'll get your name shouted out on the WrestleRamble. Much like this person right here, the leader of the New World Discorder, Ewan McDonald. Yes.
Woo, yeah.
We get cheap pop for it.
Cheap pop and all. One and only Mr. One.
Mr. One.
Mr. One.
T-Rex Joseph Clamorin.
Woo,
Nice.
Clamoring for Patreon. Michael Miss Lion. Okay. Michael mislaying McKees.
He's mislaid his
There he
keys.
is.
He's mislaying
Very good,
his
mislaying
keys.
McKees. Very good.
Girls on film, Evie Duran.
That's really
Nice.
bad. The Toxic Dogma Avenger.
Toxic Avenger, great film.
Yeah.
Alex sorry, I nearly went Datsun on you then. Alex the Rougeaz Johnson.
You went full Datsun on that one. The Aussie Experience. Dave Humphreys.
Nice. Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Dave McMillion and McMillions.
It's actually a good name. It's a Datsun name. It's
a
actually
Datsun
very
one, yeah.
good. Marcus, he's got Sol Campbell.
Sol Campbell,
'cause
ex-Tottenham
he's
defender.
He's a footballer, so
That's
I'm told.
all we have got time for on this edition of the very sweaty WrestleRamble. My t-shirt is actually sticking to me.
It's horrible.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of your super chats. I have been Luke Owen. This has been Chopper P. Quinnell. That was Housemate Simon. And that were Ramblin'.